April 30th, 2026, Thursday morning. We're in chapter 5. We covered the Theravada tradition perspective on human life, the Mahayana tradition perspective on human life. Now we're ending with the Vajrayana in chapter 5, perspective on the human life. We left off yesterday at the suffering of human realms. The following passages from the words from the precious teachers are solemn contemplations on painful nature of human existence, focusing on the dark side of life but not lacking in irony. They are meant to induce a sense of disillusionment with the round of rebirth, samsara. Human suffering, including the three types of great suffering fundamentals to humans, are the four great streams of suffering: birth, aging, sickness, and death. The dread of meeting hated enemies and the fear of losing loved ones. The suffering of encountering what one does not want, and the suffering of not getting what one wants. This is from, or cited from, the words of my perfect teacher, page 120. The three fundamental types of suffering. This passage explores similar ideas to that of the Theravada tradition. The suffering of change is what we feel when some kind of happiness we experience in the present moment suddenly turns into suffering. Take the example when eating a nourishing meal, fully satisfied, we may just feel fine, but then we get stricken by violent stomach feeling, disease due to worm developing in our belly, or presently we feel just fine, but then our livestock are driven away by enemies, our home burns down, we get attacked by the terrible disease of a virus, or receive some bad news from the outside, and our happiness suddenly turns into suffering. Since in general none of the pleasures, comforts, and renown we may seem to enjoy in this realm of samsara have even a little bit of permanence and reliability, and are eventually nothing but suffering. Grow disillusionment with. The suffering of repeated suffering is when, before one suffering is over, we are inflicted by another one. Take the example, we have leprosy, then we get an ulcer, then on top of that ulcer, we break out in sores. Or our father's death, or our mother also dies, or we are pursued by an enemy, and on top of that, someone dear to us passes away. Wherever we are born within the realm of samsara, we merely spend our time experiencing one kind of suffering, following on the top of another, without even a momentary chance of happiness. Most of us who presently pride ourselves on being happy do not actually seem to experience any suffering, but are really just creating the causes of suffering. The food we eat, the clothes we wear, our homes and our riches, our ornaments and festivals are all produced through wrongdoing. Since all our actions are nothing but sinister machinations, they can only result in suffering. As the end result, all of these will have to go through the endless suffering of the bad destinies. So everything that appears to be our well-being now is actually the suffering, and suffering is making. This can be cited from the words of my perfect teacher, page 120 to 124. The sufferings of concept to birth, aging, sickness, and death. This graphic passage outlines the pains involved in the short human lifespan and urges people to practice the righteous Dhamma. living ethically and developing wisdom at the best protection against these and their repetition. Human beings in this world are born from the womb. The grasping consciousness of Gandharva enters into the mixture of seminal fluid of the father and the uteral blood of the mother, and then goes through the pain of turning it into a quivering mass. Then a creamy mass, an oval mass, then solidifying and rounding, etc. When this head and limbs with all their parts are completely developed, he feels pain as if he was thrown into a prison in the tight, smelly, pitch black dark inside the mother's womb. When the mother eats hot food, he feels pain as if he was being burned by fire. When she eats something cold, he feels pain that he was thrown into cold water. When she lies down, he feels pain as if he was crushed by the mountain. When she is full, he feels pain as he was squeezed between rocks. When she was hungry, he feels pains as if he was falling into an abyss. And when she walks, he sits down or moves around, he feels pains as if he was being carried by the wind. When he was ready to come to birth after the number of months has been completed and the wind of karma, the force of past action, turns his head downwards and pushes him through the birth canal, he suffers so much pains as if he was being held by his legs by a strong giant and banged against the wall as he emerges from between the pelvic bones. He feels such pains as being pulled through the hole in a draw plate. If the birth exit is too narrow, he cannot come to birth but dies on the spot, or indeed both mother and baby may die. And even if they do not, they feel pain as if they were going to die. After coming to birth, as he falls on the top of the bed, he feels like falling into the thorny pit. As the sack is removed from his back, he feels into as removed from his back, he feels like being flayed alive. As the slime is rubbed off his body, he feels like being beaten with stuffed whip. As he is taken to his mother's lap, he feels like a baby bird carried away by the hawk. Whatever he suffers from the pain of hunger, thirst, or any kind of sickness, he can do nothing but cry. Aging. Then as we grow up, we still seem to developing for some time, but our life is actually diminishing each day. We're getting closer and closer to death. We are busy looking after the affair of this worldly life as they occur one after another, like ripples on water never coming to an end. And since all that they have to do with this just wrongdoing, we're in the extreme pain of creating the causes of the lower realms. While we busy ourselves with those pointless and never-ending affairs of samsara, we are caught unaware by the pains of aging. As our bodily strength gradually weakens, we can no longer digest the food as we eat. As our eyes lose their strength, we can no longer see forms that are too small or distant. As our ear faculty diminishes, we can no longer hear well. As our tongue faculty weakens, we can no longer taste our food and drink, nor articulate properly what we want to say. As our mental faculty deteriorates and our memory gets clouded, we become terribly dull and forgetful. Our teeth fall out. We can no longer chew solid food. Our words turn into mumbling. As our body heat is slipping away, we are no longer kept warm by the clothes we put on. As our physical strength dwindles, we cannot lift anything heavy. Though we would still like to enjoy what we want, we no longer have the power to act. As the energy system of our body is worn out, we become irritable and impatient, scorned by everyone. We feel depressed and miserable. As the body elements get deprived of balance, our health problems multiply. Having to walk, sit down, or make any movement becomes almost insurmountable difficulty. Sickness. This human body is composed of four elements: earth, solidity; water, cohesion; fire, heat; and wind, movement. When they are all out of balance, we suffer from the pain of sickness associated with the wind, bile, or phlegm. We may be an exuberantly healthy person in the prime of our youth, but when we are struck by the pain of sickness, we immediately feel like a little bird hit by a stone. Our strength suddenly slips away. We sink into our bed and we find it hard even to move. Even when somebody asks us, "What is the problem?" we are not able to give them a quick reply. We can only speak with an experiencing voice from deep within. Whether we lie on our right side or our left side or our belly or on our back, we always feel uncomfortable. We lose our appetite. We no longer sleep at night. During daytime, the day seems long. During nighttime, the night seems long. Willy-nilly, we have to put up with the bitter, hot, and sour taste of medicine, the pain of bloodletting, and so forth. We are terrified from the thought that we might even come to die of this sickness under the power of the demons and poor integrity. We may lose control over our body and mind. We have even more diluted perceptions than our usual samsaric delusions. Some people even kill themselves or jump off from the precipice. People suffer from such terrible diseases as leprosy and epilepsy, or even while living in this as if they were dead. Expelled from human society, they are left on their own. Usually, sick people cannot look after themselves. As sickness eats them away, they become short-tempered and find more and more difficult with everything done by others. If their sickness lasts too long, then people get tired of looking after them and do not listen to them anymore. They are constant pain of suffering from the pains of sickness. Death. Our body falls into the bed and cannot get up. You can see your food and drink, but have no appetite for them. Terrified by the premonition of death, you feel deeply distressed. Your confidence and self-assurance has vanished. You start having delusionary visions and hallucinations. Your time has come for the great moving on. You may be surrounded by relatives and friends on all sides, but they cannot keep you back. You have to go to the pain of dying all alone. You may have had countless possessions, but cannot take them with you. You cannot let go of them, and yet you cannot keep them. As you recall your former wrongdoings, you start feeling remorseful. You're reminded of the pains of the bad destinies, and you are terrified. As death suddenly arrives, you feel dread. As the appearances of living fade away, you feel cold. When a wrongdoer dies, he beats his chest on the verge of dying and dies full of nail marks on his chest. Remembering his former actions of wrongdoing, he is terrified of being reborn in the bad destination. He feels regrets on not having practiced the Dhamma while he was free to do so, which would help him in the moment of death. Feeling tremendous pain in his heart, he clutches at his breast and dies, full of nail marks on his chest. Such people are haunted by omens of the lower realms. They have all sorts of terrifying visions, and all their sensations become painful. When their bodily elements start to disintegrate, they breathe hard, their limbs twitch. They become confused. Their eyes roll up and they pass beyond this life. They are not met by messengers of the Lord of Death, Yama, Praya Om. And the visions of the intimate state start to appear to them. They have no protector of the refuge. The Dharma as one refuge. You have no assurance that the moment of leaving this life naked and empty handed will not come as soon as today. At that time, the only thing that can certainly help you is the Holy Dharma. No one else can give you refuge. As said, think of the Dharma as soon as you are in your mother's womb, as soon as you are born. Be mindful of death. Since death can hit suddenly, both on the old and the young, we have to practice the Dhamma that can help us in the moment of our death, since the day we were born. Yet we have not thought of death up to now, but have been busily fighting our enemies and protecting our family, taking care of our home and our possessions, as all this time has been spent in attachment, hatred, and bewilderment for the sake of friends and relatives. We commit a great error. This can be cited from the words of my teacher, page 124 to page 132. The pains of being parted from who and what we love and like. This passage is from the Master Lochen Ramjapa, 1308 to 1364, Common Era. It's quoted by Patru Rinpoche in the section of the pain of encountering what one does not want. We would like to stay together with our spouse and our family forever, but we are certain to part from them. We would like to stay in the nice home forever, but we are certain to leave it behind. We would like to enjoy a happy life of abundance forever, but we are certain to lose it. We would like to keep this precious human life of freedom and connection forever, but we are certain to die. We would like to keep studying the Dharma and our wonderful teacher forever, but we are certain to let him go. We would like to stay together with our nice spiritual friends forever, but we are certain to separate. From this very day, put an armor of perseverance and get you ready to cross over the land of the great bliss of awakening without separation. This is what the beggar without Dharma. I advise to all my companions who are deeply disillusioned with the round of rebirth, samsara. The words of my perfect teacher, page 139. An admonition by Mati Priya. Do not waste any opportunity to practice the Dhamma. In a similar vein, Ma Mitla Pripa acknowledges his students not to waste an opportunity presented by this precious human life. Even though I may teach the Dhamma, only a few people put it into practice. Though I may teach the Dhamma to engender disillusionment with the round of rebirth, samsara, the ocean of dukkha, suffering, very people are revolted with it. Though I may teach them that there is no time to wait, for the rest of their lives is fully petering out, very few people are mindful of death. Even though it is a rare opportunity to keep steadfast ethical discipline when we have a precious human life with freedom and connection to the Dhamma, very people can keep even one day precepts. Though I may tell them about good qualities of the higher realms of humans and gods and liberation, as well as the shortcomings of the rounds of rebirth, samsara, very people do actually enter the gateway to the Dhamma. Though I may teach the most profound oral instructions of the whispered lineage without reservation, only a few people do put them into practice. Though I may give them guidance and introduction to the holy Dharma of Mahamudra, very people do recognize the nature of the mind. Though I may always try to inspire them to go on the mountain retreat, the Guru's heart wish, very people are actually willing to practice. though I may freely instruct them on the profound path of the means taught by Naropa, very people do exhibit the sign of heat. If you want to do something meaningful while in this precious human body of freedom and connection, then follow me. This can be cited in 100,000 Songs of Mitla Ripa, page 260 to 261. Thus, that concludes the end of chapter 5 from the perspective of Vajrayana tradition. As we move to chapter 6, the Buddha's path and its practice, Theravada tradition, the guidance and insight from the Buddha, common Buddhist texts. We'll pick up on this on the next one here. And this is Chief Editor, Dr. Pratmaha Dhamma Kosachan. We will pick up chapter 6 on the next one from the Buddhist path and its practice from the Theravada tradition perspective.